right, what is going on, everyone? Hello, hello, and welcome to a particularly normal, arbitrary, usual day of streaming here. Today is Saturday, the 23rd of April, 2022, and I'm Darkside Phil, and I would like to welcome you all here to the PreStream podcast, a little show that I do before I jump into the meat of whatever it is that I'm streaming for the day, which is usually gameplay, with a few exceptions here or there. Okay, but today's a little different. Excuse me. Let's talk about how today's a little different. First of all, my allergies are bothering me, and I apologize for that. My nose is itching, my throat is bothering me. So I'll probably sound like crap. Doesn't that, I mean, it's par for the course on my streams, but there may be some newcomers here today that don't understand, and I apologize for that wholeheartedly. Okay? Now, today, ladies and gentlemen, is something a little bit different. It is an experiment. All right? This is not my typical streaming deal. I'm doing something outside of my comfort zone. I'm doing something that people have asked for like forever. Okay? I mean, man, I'm thinking all the way back to like when I first started live streaming in 2013. Okay? People were asking me, Phil, why don't you jump on the big bandwagon movement? Why don't you do React content? Okay? And it actually started with things like E3, which today doesn't even exist anymore. But E3 used to be the big gaming news conference, and they used to have all these giant press events. You know, Sony, Microsoft, Ubisoft, EA would all have their big events at E3 presenting all their new upcoming games and projects and consoles. And it became a commonplace thing for content creators like myself to live stream / broadcast on an on-demand video the press conferences and basically stand there in the corner like this and comment over it by reacting to each and every little thing that happened at E3. Now, although some people did it intelligently, I hate to say it, the vast majority of people who do that kind of content essentially are just overreacting on purpose to try to get clickbait views. Personally, I never found much value in React content. I feel that, like, it is lazy content, just being honest. I don't feel like you need to really prepare for React content. I don't feel like there's any skill involved in it. Although, obviously, if you do funny reactions or have something to add that's intelligent, yes, some value can be maybe found in it. But to me, as a content creator, by the way, there goes my lighting. The hell was that? Stupid white balance. To me, it is much more challenging and much more difficult and much more, I don't know, valuable to pick up this controller and actually play a game and do a playthrough of a game with things like commentary, interaction with a live audience, etc. Like, that is more valuable and more valid of content than just sitting and watching something and reacting to it. You know what I'm saying? Now, over the years, I resisted. For a very long time, I resisted this content, right? I'm 14 years as a content creator, for God's sakes. Yeah, I started this back in 2008, if you can believe it. And very few times have you ever seen me do React content. In fact, I dabbled in it back in 2016 when I had another channel on YouTube called KO Gaming, and I didn't stream any of the content from KO Gaming. It was all on-demand content, okay? And there was a few news stories that I kind of covered. There was, like, for example, a trailer came out for, I think it was like, was it Batman versus Superman or something like that? And I did a React video to that. And the truth of the matter is that it didn't really catch on, which I didn't think it would. It wasn't like those videos got popular or anything. They exist, and some people liked them, some people didn't. But it was something different to diversify my content, okay? Over the years, I essentially stopped caring about KO Gaming because YouTube demonetized the channel for no good reason. I'm not going to get into that today. I've complained about YouTube enough in the past that I don't need to get into the details of that. But basically, in 2017, I became an interactive live streamer. And what I mean by that is I basically kind of gave up on on-demand content for YouTube because YouTube was willy-nilly like demonetizing crap left and right. It was pretty messed up what they were doing. And when you tried to ask them why they were doing that, they basically wouldn't even answer you. They would claim, oh, well, here's our criteria for demonetization. I was like, okay, that's great. So why is my content qualifying? Because it doesn't. Like, your criteria doesn't apply to my content. And then they wouldn't answer. So after, dabbling in that kind of content, I became a full-time live streamer. And the rest is history. Like, for the last 5+ years, I, every day, sit here live on stream with you guys multiple times a day. And we play games. We have a fun podcast. We do all this stuff together. And I love it. I absolutely love being an interactive live streamer. I feel like this is more meaningful than anything that I did up to the point when I started doing this. Us having meaningful interactions, conversation, etc. is way more important and valid and meaningful to me and apparently to my audience than anything before. People say to me every day, man, I come to your streams and it really has value for me. And there's various different reasons. People find value for things in many different ways. Positive, negative, whatever it may be. As long as there's a value, who cares, right? So, when that happened, I essentially started, really diving into his concrete schedule or whatever. Became a lot more professional of a streamer. But still, I kind of resisted the movement towards React content. I said, man, I would much rather do a game playthrough today. I would much rather have a podcast where we talk. I still felt like reacting to something. It just doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? It just seems like it is easy mode content. And maybe my problem is over the years, I've always had a drive to do things differently than everyone else. I always kind of go against the norm. You know what I mean? Some people have called me a hipster in that way. I don't think that's necessarily what it is. But I'm kind of like the kind of person, if I get told to do something, I don't want to do it. And maybe it's just because there's been such a demand for this kind of content that I just didn't feel like doing it for whatever reason. I don't really know exactly what it was that made me so resistant, okay? But let's be honest. Everyone does it. Like, literally every person who makes a living on the internet making content does React content. I'm like the one freaking holdout who didn't want to do it and didn't do these kind of videos and didn't do these kind of streams, And everyone gets that. The clickbait title, the clickbait thumbnail with the face, duh, and everyone does it. So, in my goal to make this channel grow, DSP Gaming, here on YouTube, trying to rebuild this channel from the ground up in the last year, since I left Twitch, came to YouTube full time, and I'm really trying to make this channel work as a business, okay? I tried to refocus my efforts and put everything into, building the channel. And what's ended up, for those who are wondering, why is Phil even considering doing React content and stuff like that? I mean, there's really two reasons behind it. Number one, I'm trying to diversify my content. And what I mean by that is I'm getting older. I recently just had my 40th birthday. Yes, I am 40 years old, if you can believe it. I don't believe it. I seriously don't. I feel like I'm still 27 when I started this thing. Seriously, I feel like, like that's me. I mean, I feel a little older, yeah. And yes, my body isn't as good as it used to be, but mentally, like, I feel like I'm still there. I'm still that, I feel young in my head. I guess that's a good thing, right? But anyway, I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? And I've noticed that when it comes to things like carpal tunnel, I'm getting symptoms of it already. Now I'm 40 years old. It's like, dude, how long can I be a full-time gamer if I'm getting carpal tunnel, right? As I get older, essentially what's going to end up happening is I'm going to lose my hand-eye coordination. I just know I am, okay? And I'm not going to be able to be playing super difficult games. It's going to be harder for me to play anything competitive. I just know as I get older, this is going to happen. It's an eventuality. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that's going to slowly happen gradually over time. Now, listen. I love what I do. I love being a live streamer, a content creator, interacting with you guys every day. I love this. This is so awesome to me. So many people, they hit 40 and they're in a midlife crisis. Like, I'm the opposite. I hit 40, I'm like, dude, I love this. I love my job. I love my life. This is awesome. Okay? But I know I can't just keep doing what I'm doing right now forever. Right? So, I'm trying to diversify my content. Okay? And one way that I did that was that I started the PreStream podcast back in the fall. I used to always talk before my gameplay streams, and people would complain, why are you talking? Just start. So I said, well, I'm going to formally make it a podcast every day. We're going to cover a variety of topics, including some gaming news, my schedule. We'll talk with the audience every day. We'll have a good session of interactivity before we get to the gameplay so I can actually focus on the game when we get to it. Okay? And for the most part, it's been working. Like, people like the podcast. I have an audience who sometimes just watch the podcast. They don't even come to watch my gameplay. And I'm totally cool with that. Hey, come by and watch whatever you want, right? I'm happy for that. And I feel that what will happen is eventually we'll have a diversification. Some people will come for the gameplay like they always did. Some people will come for the podcast. Some people will come for both, okay? But I need to try other things. I'm starting to become more accepting of the fact that in order to make this work and keep it going, all right, I need to do different things, try different things, experiment, all right? And there's some things I'm willing to experiment with. There's some things I'm not right now. Those things might change in the future. But when I look at the gamut of everything that people have asked me to do over the years and the things that I've kind of held out from and didn't do, all right, React style content is definitely the thing that, like, was right there. It's like the dangling carrot, right? The low-hanging fruit. It's sitting right there, and I'm touching it. I'm tickling the fruit, but I'm not grabbing it because I feel like I want more of a challenge. I want to put out something different, you see? I don't want to be like everybody else. So admittedly, doing something like I'm about to do today is kind of like, it's actually hard for me. I'm not kidding. Like, doing something easy is hard for me. I feel like I'm kind of like a sellout doing crap like this. I do. I feel that way. But when my entire audience for years and years has says, just do it. We want you to do it. We want this from you. This is something that we would find value and entertainment in. Why don't you just do it? Okay, I guess I have to eventually try something, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about today, because I think today is actually kind of a new deal, a turning point, perhaps. And I do want to kind of express my feelings about it. Today we're doing this, React. Why are we first of all, let me address this. Why are we doing Down the Rabbit Hole Wings of Redemption and not Dark Side Phil? Well, I wanted to do Dark Side Phil, actually. I wanted to do Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil, and I actually proposed that first. And at first, my audience seemed to be in on it and like it. And I proposed what we would do is let's hit a members goal this month. Let's hit 400 members. And if we can hit 400 members on DSPGaming, which would be great for the channel, it needs the growth, then I would do it. Okay? And we did see kind of a surge in members for like 1 week. It was like maybe got 30 new members, and then it just went, and it flattened out. And we haven't really moved. I mean, we have seen a little bit of movement this last few days. It went from like 360 to 379, which is great. But essentially, people gave me this feedback. They said, well, even though that Down the Rabbit Hole video about you is the most viewed video about you on the internet, because it is, over 6 million views, there's not a single video about Dark Side Phil on the internet more than that. That's the biggest video about me. And of any video people have seen about me, likely that's the one they've seen. And they just think that's it. That's his story, right? And I personally watched the video, and how can I say? Am I happy that someone summarized a lot of my failures and a few of my successes, but mostly my failures for those, first several years of my content creation? I mean, it basically covers me from like 2008 all the way through, I want to say late 2016, very early 2017. It's very, let me put it this way. It's 6 million is not an inflated number. Go look at the video. It's got over 6 million views. It's ridiculous. It really blew up. But anyway, yeah, most people who've seen that video, that's Dark Side Phil to them. That's all they know. They don't know anything about that. I'm a live streamer, and I do other kinds of content, and that over the last 5 years, I've changed. I'm a different person now. I really stopped doing most of the crap that people gave me crap for in that video. It just doesn't happen anymore. I'm totally different guy, even though I still love games and I do the same kind of commentary and everything. It's a very different product today. No one would know that watching that video, okay? And quite frankly, that video, even though it's well researched, I will say that Frederick Knudsen did his homework to try to put together as much in that video as he could on a factual basis. Sadly, a lot of the information that's out there that's public isn't the full story, or is kind of a half-truth, or is kind of a assumption. It's not necessarily all true, okay? So when I proposed, I said, let me go back, all right, and do that video. Let's do Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil, and I can go through the video, and I can react to everything said in it and tell you if it's true or not, because most of it is true. I can tell you right now, most of the stuff in the video is correct. There's a few things that are worth maybe adding additional information on or correcting. Some of the fighting game stuff is wrong, just outright wrong, and I would like to correct that someday. But I said, let's do it. That would be fun, I think, for me, because number one, it's kind of going down memory lane, and even though, yes, it is recognizing a lot of my failures, the way to improve as a content creator and a person is to acknowledge your failures and to move on from them and improve from them. You know what I mean? Just don't keep redoing the same things wrong. Change yourself for the better, right? So there you go. I proposed this. People thought it was a good idea, and then the idea really fizzled out after like a week, and the reaction I got was, well, the problem is the video's too old. The video's 5 years old now, and a lot of the people who, let's be honest, hate on me, all right? And I say that in quotations because you could call them whatever you want. You could call them haters, detractors, obsessed nut jobs, crazy people, who knows, toxic. I could keep going. But anyway, most of them have moved on from the stuff of my early formative years, and now they focus on the crazy conspiracy shit that people talk about every day. Like people sitting here on this very stream waiting for me to say something so that they can twist it in a way that it means something that it wasn't intended, or trying to get a snippet of information about my personal life that they can try to spin into something that's just totally not true, just for the sake of creating drama content on the internet to make a buck. That's really what it is today. And I've been pretty much the victim of a lot of online slander and defamation over the last several years that has hurt me concretely. It's hurt me personally. It's hurt me professionally. You know, a lot of business opportunities go away when people search your name and all they see is a bunch of ridiculous, over-the-top, crazy shit. That's really not true, but you're not going to sit here and talk about it all day and disprove all of it because people move the goalpost, right? The moment that you bring it up, oh, well, that's not true. Well, here's 17 more things. Okay, so let me sit here for 4 hours and talk about each of the 17 things. Well, here's 34 more things I made up. Oh, so I'm never going to get done with this, am I? Nope. Okay, well, fuck it. I'm just going to make video game content today then. You see? There's no point in ever addressing any of it. Okay? So, that's what I mean. People were like, well, we've moved on from the past stuff. We want to talk about all this present-day bullshit. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk about present-day bullshit because it's not real. I'm not even involved in it. If you look at the drama shit that happens about me today, it has nothing to do with me or my streams. It's all outside of the stuff. Really. It's very rarely we'd even be addressing anything from my streams. Like, wow, it's a rarity that people... Oh, Phil rage quit Kirby, right? Wow, it's a rarity people even do stuff like that anymore. Usually it's making bullshit up about my personal life behind the scenes and shit like that. That's not true, okay? Anyway, the point I'm making is the whole idea of me doing the Down the Rabbit Hole React video for me kind of fell apart. People said they didn't really want it anymore after only a couple of weeks of considering it. And I'm like, damn, well, that sucks because it was something different I was willing to try. People had asked me for React content for many years, so what do we do now? And the idea came up, well, why don't you react to something else? And I was like, well, the most viewed video over there on that Frederick Knudsen channel is Wings of Redemption, okay? And a few people started bouncing it off of me, well, why don't you react to that video? We'd actually be way more interested in that. Now, that's an interesting idea, and here's why. For many, many, many years, people come on my streams and on my videos and in my content, and they reference Rings of Redemption. Whether it's a meme, whether it's, something that happened on his stream today, whether it's reacting or even referencing one of his haters or whatever it may be, and 90% of the time, it goes right over my head like this. I just don't understand what anyone's talking about. It's just, I don't know. The thing is, I can tell you a million memes. Pepsi, chicken tendies, I guess he bought a rebuilt car, just, I mean, how many can I go? Carrie Diamond, right? Wendy's Chili. I could come up with all these things that you guys reference constantly on my streams, and there's no frame of reference for it. Like, I don't understand it. You guys just say, oh, it's a Wings meme. Oh, okay. It's a Wings meme, I guess. I don't understand it. I don't know where it came from. right? So you're already here talking about this guy, right? And I don't know much about him. The interactions I've had with him over the years have some been positive and some been negative, but not more than a moment's notice. You know what I mean? Like, years and years ago, he offered to have me on his podcast. I told him I'd be interested, but then I got sick, so I told him I couldn't be on it. And he said that he would contact me again when they wanted to reschedule. He never did, yet apparently then they made fun of me on the podcast or something, saying I was trying to dodge them when I was genuinely sick. I didn't even make content for myself that day. And then years later, I guess there was some proposition that we were going to do some kind of co-op in a game. I don't even remember what it was. And he said that he was going to contact me. He never did. And then all his followers bothered him about it. And I guess he said something like, oh, well, I contacted him. He never responded, when it was a lie. And then later on he admitted, no, I never even contacted him, you know. So all that stuff, that was my knowledge of the guy, you know. I never watched his content ever. Like, never have I seen any streams of Wings of Redemption or anything like that, okay? So I don't really know much about him outside of what you guys would tell me on stream. And everything that people told me, I was like, dude, there's no way this is all true. Like, I look from a frame of reference of what people say about me, right? I'm like, I guarantee you, just like with me, okay, there's a small nugget of truth somewhere in there with what everyone says about the guy, but then it gets extrapolated, it gets exaggerated, it gets blown up to the point where it becomes this living meme on the internet that everyone likes to laugh and joke about, but maybe it's not necessarily the truth, okay? Or maybe it is all really true. I don't know. I don't watch the guy. I don't watch his content. But seriously, you guys totally talk about this guy so much, all right, that I said, this, if anything, if we were going to have like a valid react that wasn't about me, this would be the one that makes sense, all right? Because you guys talk about him so much on my content. At least now, doing a reaction to a Down the Rabbit Hole documentary about Wings, I'm going to learn about the guy for the first time. I'm actually going to see firsthand his history and hopefully where a lot of this stuff comes from. So I'll at least have that frame of reference to understand where you guys are coming from. And now, I don't know if I'm going to laugh with you or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that's funny. But admittedly, you know, seeing some of these memes, they can become pretty harmful depending on how powerful they become and how negative people see someone because of a stupid meme on the internet. So we're going to see today, you know, firsthand. Will I finally learn about the guy or not? It kind of makes sense to do this. If I was going to do any react, this would be the one to start with, okay? And go from there and see how much I can learn about the guy and the situation, all right? Now, I want to outline a few things about this. I want you guys to understand exactly what we're talking about today. By the way, I forgot to put this up on the screen. There we go. Okay? So a few things to talk about in regards to what we're doing today, okay? Number one, this video that we're going to watch is over 2 hours long. Now, when I finish the podcast, I'll probably have around roughly 3 hours of content on this stream. That's how I usually do my daytime streams. I'll take a break in there, you know, use the restroom and stretch my legs at one point. And there's a lot of interaction. I know for a fact people will be, you know, wanting to do shout outs and interacting with me. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to act like you guys aren't here. This is meant to be an interactive stream. That's the point of me streaming, or else why would I stream it? I'd just do it offline, right? So understand that. But with that being said, being that there's going to be a break and being that there's going to be interaction, we might not even get through this video today. It's very long, okay? And that's okay. It's like we're watching a feature-length film together. That's okay if we actually don't get through this today, all right? I've already told you guys, or previously, that if we don't finish today, this will be next weekend, same time, same place. We'll come back and reconvene and finish it. All right? And at that point, I'll probably give you like a final thoughts on what I think about what we've learned in this Down the Rabbit Hole. Okay? So there you go. That's number one. Okay? Number two, just to make this clear, I have 100% cleared this, both with Frederick Knudsen, the maker of the video, and with Wings of Redemption himself. I personally contacted both of them behind the scenes. They both said it's perfectly fine for me to do this. In fact, Wings, to quote him word for word, said the following: "Go for it. Make that money. Okay, then. So, I got the blessing first. I wanted to make sure that that was up front. I am not doing this to harm anyone. I'm not doing this without anyone's permission and stealing content. Personally, over the years, people who have watched my content in long form to do commentary like this have never gotten permission. Quite frankly, I probably would have given them all permission if they had asked. It's just that I feel like it's something nice to do. If you're doing a transformative work style content and you're doing commentary over something, all right, you're allowed to do a certain percentile of it under fair use. If you're going to do the entirety of the work, you basically have to get permission legally. No one does that, but I wanted to do that. I wanted to go the extra mile for this project, so that way there's no one getting bad feelings or hard feelings. I stole content or whatever, or that I'm trying to be harmful to Wings. I'm not. Okay? Okay. One final thing. All right? This is very much an experiment. All right? This is not a guarantee of future content. This is not anything that's going to possibly become a lengthy series. This is essentially today a proof of concept. For those who don't know what that means, this happens in business all the time. You're trying something out new to see if your concept actually will work for something for your business. And if it works, great. Now you can use that as evidence that you should keep making this kind of stuff moving forward because it's good for your business. Or on the flip side of that, you could use that as a proof that this is not working, it's something bad, and you should never do it again. Okay? So today is essentially a proof of concept for me for React content. If I do this video in the stream today and views are good, engagement is good, meaning people who are liking the streams, liking the videos, leaving comments on the video, etc. And quite frankly, if support is good, because it's great to do variety, but what's the point of doing variety if it's not supported? If people tell me, well, I don't really like this, I'm not going to support it, then I'm not going to continue to do it. So yes, that includes things like channel memberships, super chats, super stickers, tips. All those things are welcomed. I'm grateful to anyone who supports this content today. It would be great if you did, because if you do and it's successful and you'll like it, then I'll probably do more of it. All right? But I'm not promising you the world. I'm not promising you that this will be a series that's going to be ongoing at all. This is a proof of concept test today. Okay? And we'll go from there. Now, you might say, Phil, I'm on your stream right now, and you have it on sub-only mode. It's always on sub-only mode. I have to have it on sub-only mode. If I don't, trolls come in here with bot accounts, and they spam the crap out of it, and no one can talk at all. And it's usually a bunch of very bad racist stuff. And I don't like that. Okay, I don't want that crap on my streams. I apologize to those of you who are watching today and can't comment on the stream chat. If you become a subscriber of the channel, eventually you will be able to talk in the stream chat. All right, but you just can't do it today. I knew we were going to have a giant influx of viewers who are not usually here, and that likely this influx of viewers were going to be trolls of Wings. And I'm not saying that you can't come in here and make a joke or a meme or whatever, but I didn't want the entirety of my stream chat to just be really toxic stuff about the guy when I'm trying to learn about him for the first time. All right, so we had to have a length of control. And we do have moderators here today behind the scenes helping, just so you guys know. They may not be actively talking because they probably want to avoid the crap going on, but they are going to be here helping to moderate and make sure that it is a regular kind of stream environment to the extent that they can do that, because I know it's going to be crazy today with the amount of people we're going to probably have here all day. Okay? So, for me, this is just kind of an interesting deal. What's going to happen today? How will this go? Will it be entertaining and fun? Will it be informative? You know, I don't know how I'm going to react to this stuff because I don't even know what's coming. I've not watched this video. So I don't really know the history of Wings. I'm going to be learning the history of Wings for the first time today. Probably along with many of you. I would guess that there's a lot of my viewers who don't know about the guy either. And every day we're hearing people are coming and referencing and we're like, what the hell are you talking about? Right? Like, what the frick is this? What is going on? Right? So now hopefully we'll understand some of it. See, I don't actually know. At least I can tell you this. From my video, my Down the Rabbit Hole video, was mostly factual research. The video didn't go into my hater groups. The video didn't really go into a lot of negative memes about me or anything like that. And quite frankly, it wasn't a very harmful video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was pretty much here's what happened because it's been factually documented on the internet through Phil's own content, right? For the most part. Like I said, there's some things there like the fighting game content and stuff that I really feel I can elaborate on because it's kind of out of context. It doesn't make sense. But for the most part, my down the rabbit hole wasn't really harmful. It was more like, oh, this is more like factual research, right? So if that's really how this video is, then maybe I won't learn that much about the memes and shit you guys have done. I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to go. So we're going to find out today. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by this. And if I was going to do it, this is kind of a really cool way to start it because I don't know what we're going to learn today. All right? Maybe we're going to learn some crazy shit. Maybe we're not. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out finally. It's kind of like, this is like a culmination of all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a culmination of all the stuff that's happened on my streams over the years regarding wings. We finally get to kind of see what it's all about. So I'm interested, to say the least. All right. But again, I have to preface this. This is not a promise of an ongoing series. This is not a promise that I'm ever going to go back to this kind of content. It's really going to depend on, is this something that makes sense for my business? Is this going to bring growth to DSP Gaming, which is the intention of me diversifying my content? If it ends up being a popular project that people like and it helps the channel overall, then yes, I'll keep doing it. If it ends up being a dud, where all that happens is a bunch of people come and be toxic and trolling, but there's really no significant growth for DSP Gaming for anything long-term at all, then I'm not going to keep doing it. I could just say, screw it. That's the idea behind a proof of concept. You see, I think it could work. Doesn't mean it will, and if it doesn't, toss it away and try something different. Okay? All right. So there we go. I hope that kind of explains everything about what we're doing today. All right? Now, that being said, even though there's over 900 people on the stream, there's likely 300 to 400 of you who are regulars who want to know what else is going on this weekend. So let me briefly address that. Then we'll do shout-outs for contributions, and then we'll get to the main event. Okay? I'm not going to do any news today. I'm not going to do any bullshit. I know what you guys want me to get to, so I'm not going to dilly-dally too much. Okay? So my schedule for the rest of the week is as follows. Later tonight, I am doing a gameplay stream. It is Skyrim After Hours, which is my playthrough of Skyrim Anniversary Edition that I'm over 90 hours into, and we still haven't really gotten so far. Tonight, we're going to be finishing up, hopefully, the Companions quest line. Probably do a Daedric quest if we have time, because I finally have the item I needed to do it. And then we're probably going to start up one of the DLCs. I was actually speaking with my wife about it, because she's playing Skyrim too, and she's like, you should probably do maybe Dragonborn, because Dragonborn's a cool DLC that takes you out of the main game for like 20 hours to a whole new region. And I was like, dude, I totally don't remember Dragonborn at all. I think I played it, but I don't remember it. So this is going to be pretty cool because it's like content I don't remember at all. All right? So there you go. That's tonight. Tomorrow, full gameplay streams. We're going to do Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga on my first stream at 10:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Continuing on with the prequel movies, we're in the Attack of the Clones. Hopefully we'll finish it and get into Revenge of the Sith. And then the late stream tomorrow night is going to be a Game Pass night where people who are channel members are voting right now to determine what game we're actually going to be playing. And I would like to quickly take a look at that poll just to see how it's doing, because I actually haven't checked on it since I made the poll yesterday. And it appears that we have a distinct leader in the poll. It is I Am Fish. So I Am Fish, which I played the other night, people really liked it, apparently loved it so much they want to see it again. Now, keep in mind, only 109 members have voted, and we have 370-some members. So there's still over 200-plus members who can vote and flip that if they want. It's up to you guys. Please vote if you haven't. Where do you find that poll? That's on my main channel page here on DSP Gaming under the community tab. That's one of the many benefits you get of being a member on my channel, is you get to actually dictate what I play on certain streams. Okay? All right. Then on Monday, I'm returning to late game content of Elden Ring. Currently, I was exploring an area that I had missed previously, but once we finish that, we're going to go back to the Graveyard of the Giants. I believe that's going to teleport me possibly somewhere else. We're going to do some of that, and yes, I'm going to get to the Hallig Tree, which is apparently the hardest content in the game, and we're going to do some of that, so that's going to be fun and challenging, and I'm probably going to rage and lose my shit like I always do when I play the game. And then Monday night will be more Skyrim, and that's the end of my streaming week. Tuesday's actually my day off for this week, okay? Now, some interesting projects coming up. Later on this week, there is an expansion for Bug Snacks, a game that I played at the launch of PS5. It's apparently a 3-hour expansion that's free. Yes, I'll be doing that. I don't know necessarily if I'll be doing it on release day, which I believe is the 28th of April, but I'll still be doing it at some point. And once I either complete Elden Ring or Lego or both, the next project that I'm doing is WWE 2K22, which people have asked me for ever since it came out, like in March, I think, and I never got around to doing it. Well, I'm finally going to get around to doing it, and that's the next major playthrough, okay? Cool. If you guys haven't noticed, people begging me to finish the PreStream podcast more quickly have zero effect. This is something that happens, and I just say, listen, I'm not going to rush myself. We got all the time in the world. I'm going to finish my podcast nicely. I'm going to cover all the topics that I want to cover. I'm going to do shout-outs, all right? And you saying for me to hurry actually just makes me delay it further like I'm doing right now. You see? You see what I did there? Alrighty then. Okay. You know, the only actual piece of gaming news I really want to talk about today, I'll talk about it very briefly. So, Halo Infinite announced their Season 2 finally. It took them a million years to get to it. We always knew Season 2 was supposed to launch in May, but everyone anticipated that it was going to be this giant thing because it took so long. And the game essentially has died in the last 3 months. Like, the player base for Halo Infinite went from way up here, top FPS, to, like, way down here to the point where the Halo Master Chief Collection has more players than Halo Infinite. That's a bad sign. So people were assuming that when they actually announced Season 2, it would be like, wow, knock your socks off, blow you on your ass, impressively good. And it's not. It's basically 2 new maps, 3 new game modes, out of which we already knew 2 of them were coming anyway. The Forge mode that everyone was waiting for isn't even coming out until, like, September. As well as co-op, supposedly, like campaign co-op. Like, all the features people wanted for Season 2 aren't coming out in May. They're coming out in the fall. Essentially, it's not Season 2, it's like a Season 3. And the game, what they're adding is so minuscule that essentially people are like, this is it. This is the death knell for this game. And what the game developers are citing is that, oh, we want to keep a work-life balance for our people working on the game. Okay, great. I want that. I want people to have work-life balance. Really, I do. I don't want people sleeping under their fucking desks. I don't want people being, you know, worked to the bone and not being paid for it like it tends to happen with crunch with these game studios. But if you're aiming to make the best first-person shooter game, did you ever think that maybe you should staff your fucking company so you have enough people to work on the fucking game? That's the top FPS game. Like, you're owned by fucking Microsoft. Don't you think you should, like, go to Microsoft and be like, hey, Microsoft, we have the biggest game out. We need help. Can we fucking get some work going here so we don't wait 6 months for our first expansion and it sucks? You wait another 6 months for the content everyone wanted to launch. It's like, what the fuck? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like they're killing their own game. Really. It's like they're killing their own game. I just don't understand it. This is a game that I absolutely loved at launch. And then I played it for a month, and I still liked it. And I played it for the second month. I was like, okay, I'm starting to lose my patience. There's not much in this game. And then when I played the third month, I was like, oh, I'm getting really bored. And I just dropped it because I don't care about it anymore. It's the same game. They didn't do shit with it. They didn't add anything. And it's like, oh, well, we don't want to overwork ourselves. Okay, then get more people. Like, there's no excuse for you to have the top game and somehow you can't have the resources to support the game. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. So, I don't know. It just seems like the game's going to get killed. At this point, even the hardcore fans of Halo reacted yesterday like, oh my god, what is this atrocity? So, anyway. Alright, guys. Now let's get to shout-outs. Let's do shout-outs for contributions on the stream. Get started with the main event. But let's start off with the YouTube side. Thank you to everyone who contributed in any way so far. Today we start off with let's see here. Sakajoia. I don't even know what that means. $10 super chat. They said, I'm a longtime fan, but the old DSP would never have succumbed to this kind of trend. React videos are the lowest form of content. Rest in peace, DSP. And I knew I was going to get that kind of reaction today, even though I thoroughly explained myself as to why we're trying something different and new, and that this really is my first attempt at kind of succumbing to the demands of my audience after many, many, many years, okay, of doing this. So, there you go. Anyway, thanks for the super chat. Rebel did a super chat. He says, change is good, and I'm happy to see you being open Open to it. Hope that things are good, Big Phil. Thank you to Rebel. Orcs or Dorks re-upped his membership for a whopping 12 months. Thank you so much for a year of support, Orcs or Dorks. And he says, when possible, react to the first This Is How You Don't Play on Metal Gear Solid 3. See, now here's the thing, and here's the difference between what I'm doing today and what I do in the future. You have to understand that if you're going to do a full react to something, you have to get permission. Legally, you don't have a leg to stand on if you're watching someone's full work and you don't get permission for it, okay? I'm certain that there's some content I will be able to get permission for. Like, Frederick Knudsen seems down for me to react to his stuff, and didn't have an issue with it at all. And I'm sure there's other people out there who don't have malicious intent against me who would allow it. But the bottom line is a lot of the people who made stuff about me over the years did have malicious intent. They just didn't like me. And if I were to react to that stuff, they're going to claim me. They're going to either claim or copyright strike me. You know what I mean? I've got to make sure that I'm covered when I'm doing content. I can't just do whatever I want and then hope for the best. This is my business as well as my hobby. You know, I got to make sure that I'm not completely shooting myself in the foot here. All right. So that being said, I likely would not be. That guy hates me. I would not be able to do that. I would have to find stuff that I could get permission for. Okay. Kevin Bernstein did a super chat. He says, "Are you not making more detractors by reacting? Making more detractors? I don't think that's possible." You're talking about a situation where everything about this is known. This is not, oh wow, I'm so shocked at this content. I don't know who this guy. The majority of people who are here on the stream are people who know everything about what's going on. You guys know way more than me. All right, I'm the newbie here. You guys are the experts. And again, these people very frequently come to my stream and reference this stuff. So that's why I'm kind of doing it. No, I don't necessarily think this is going to do anything to hurt Wings. At least that's not my intention. And that's exactly why I checked with him first to make sure that he was okay with it before I did anything like this. Okay? If he had said no, I literally wouldn't have done it. I would not have done it without his blessing because I don't want to do anything that feels like it's going to be harmful to someone. Okay? Guitar Player 1939 has re-upped his membership for 11 months, and it says it's actually 10, not 7. Well, actually, according to YouTube, it's 11. Thank you for your support, Guitar Player. No matter how many months it's been, I appreciate it. The HR did a $15 super chat and says, "Big ups to DSP. Shout out to 007 and the trolls on Discord. Wings beat his surgery with a pistol grip." I'm going to assume that's a lot of references and memes that I don't understand. Then we're going to move on positively and pretend like it never happened. Chocolate Fuzz became a channel member this morning. Thank you to Chocolate Fuzz. I appreciate that. Babu Chan became a member this morning. Actually, re-upped his membership for 7 months. Thank you to Babu Chan. Obsolete Boy did a super chat and says, "The community leader for Halo Infinite literally has blamed the lack of updates on the Ukraine war, despite all the game devs live in the U.S." There you have it. I can't corroborate that. I'm just reading what someone said. Okay. All right. Thank you, Obsolete Boy. And he is the latest super chatter, which is why I'm now adding him to the leaderboard. Okay. So, by the way, a couple quick things, because a lot of you are newbies today, right, to my content. You may be like, why is Phil manually updating his leaderboard? Because automation will not work with my content. People try to find ways around filters and stuff, and purposefully would try to get something on there that, let's say I'm busy with Dark Souls or Street Fighter, and I can't necessarily pay attention to my leaderboard. They would try to get up there with a racist name. They would try to say something very nasty and get me in trouble on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. So I just said, nah, I'm just going to do manual updates. And quite frankly, it works. And the reason it works is I get to screen everything on my stream before it hits it. You see what I'm saying? So I know what's coming through. And the other good thing is it keeps me on my toes to do shout outs. You'll notice today as we do this video that I'm going to be doing live shout-outs, and it allows me to kind of pay more attention. If I didn't have to update the leaderboard, I basically kind of get lazy, and I don't like that. I don't like content creators who get a ton of contributions. They just ignore them. I think that's very, very ungrateful. I want to give a shout-out to everyone who contributes to my stream within reason. You know, if there's 5 zillion people doing it and I can't keep up, that's one thing. But also if there's people who are just outright trying to be insulting and stuff, obviously I'm not going to read that either, okay? So, There you have it. X Kazder did a super chat. Says, I'm a big fan from Saudi Arabia. Love the content. Thank you. Kevin Bernstein did a super chat. Says, when are you reacting to your Down the Rabbit Hole? Well, as I said, the original premise of this whole idea was that if I hit my members goal for the month, we were going to do react to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. I didn't say that changed. That's still standing. If we hit this, we'll still do it. I'm okay with that. My video is much shorter than the one we're about to do today. It's only about 30 minutes long. And I actually feel I can add a lot more to my own video because I was there. I'm involved. I have knowledge you guys don't, right? So we could do it, but we got to hit the goal. Like was standing, never changed, okay? Turtle Dude re-upped his membership for 12 months. And he says, "Show yeah." Thank you very much, Turtle Dude. Okay, so that is the YouTube side contributions. And what I would like to do briefly is check and see how we're actually doing on members, because we did get a few new members this morning, and we are trying to hit a members goal. So it's good to keep track of that. And then we're going to do tips. We shout out for tips, and then we'll go from there. Let's see here. We're at 382 members. Thank you, guys. We did get a few new members this morning, including Natalie just became a channel supporter. Thank you to Natalie. All right, so now let's update that members 382. It'll likely be worth it to check multiple times over today's stream. I want to say welcome to anyone who's a newcomer and to my content who doesn't usually watch. You are welcome. Apologies that it has to be in sub-only mode today because of the amount of trolling that I get. If you stay a subscriber to the channel, you eventually will be able to talk in all of my content, including live streams. I'm sorry if you're a newcomer today and you can't, okay? All right, tips. We start off today. Our first tip was from Ponage101, who did a $12 tip. Let's get him up on the leaderboard. There we go. Oops. That was incorrect. It's 101. Did I put caps lock on? Oh, shit. Now I don't know if it's on or off. It's off. Okay. I hate when that happens. Okay, $12 tip. Thank you, Ponage. Biggest tip so far today, I believe, actually. I guess I shouldn't say that until I look at the rest. And he says, since you're no longer the king of hate, could you now be called the king of persistence or maybe the king of perseverance? You're still here after 13 years. Actually, we're going on 14. It's about to be 14 this coming September. If you're going by when I started uploading actual gameplay footage with commentary, if you're just going by in general when I uploaded, I actually started uploading in 2007. So actually, it's already past 14 years if that's the case. I guess it depends on your criteria. But thank you. I mean, like I said yesterday, or actually like I said during Ask the King a couple days ago, I don't really care. I could be the king of gaming, the king of content, the king of perseverance, the king of baby diapers. I don't care. Whatever you think is fine, as long as we get rid of that old stigma where people would take my old moniker and spin it into something that it definitely was not meant to be to try to hurt me on the internet. So I'm done with that crap. Okay? Okay. Big Pop-Up Pump. Tip me $5.01. He says, Phil, over 100 likes already. Hope you have a fun day. This will be awesome. Thanks for experimenting with your content. Actually, as of now, we're at 297 likes and climbing, which is outstanding. I wonder if we will hit a new record for likes today. The most likes I ever had, I believe, was around 500, and that was on my birthday stream earlier this month. So I wonder if we can top 500 likes today. That'll be a new record. All right. Big Papa Pump also did another $2 tip and says, one meme for fun. Man, it'd be fucking awesome to have a fucking big-ass thick burger with fucking bacon on it, motherfucker. With a big old melted pieces of cheese, 2 patties, some lettuce. Get some... Bug just landed on my fucking keyboard. Get some fucking fries seasoned right up in that dip, that shit in ketchup. What a meme. Amazing. I never heard it. Maybe we'll hear it today. I've never heard that meme. So I don't even know what it sounds like in context of him saying it. It would be probably funny. I don't know. We'll see. Then Big Papa pumped it again. Another $2. And he says, don't worry. We'll stick with you no matter what content you make. We've been here for us, and we're going to be there for you. Well, thank you. That's a really nice thing to say. I appreciate that. Rusty Edwards tipped $10. Thank you, Rusty. He says, raise the tip goal. You're going to hit 152 easily today. There's going to be over 1,000 people watching. Congrats on your success, King. Again, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the goals as is. If we exceed them, great. But I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. This is a test, a proof of concept. We're going to see. Hey, if everything goes swimmingly well, then maybe I would do this more in the future for different kinds of content. But I'm not sold that this will be super popular. All right, let me give you guys some perspective. All right, this is honestly what I think is going to happen, and maybe you could prove me wrong. I think we're going to have a lot of viewers today. Probably get a lot of likes on the stream. Okay? Probably get some new members, some super chats. But ultimately, I think it's going to be more about trolling. I hate to say that, but content like this, even though I don't feel that Frederick Knudsen makes trolling content, I don't think it's trolling at all. It's more factual. It's a documentary style. But I think that people use this as a basis for trolling. And I am a little nervous that this is going to mostly have people be here to be negative and toxic. They're not going to want to support my content. They just want to laugh at Wings and laugh at his expense. And that's kind of messed up. That's not really what I'm here to do. I'm sure we're going to have laughs today. Don't worry. I'm sure we're going to have laughs. But it's not necessarily about bringing the guy down. I just want to understand him, where he's coming from and where all these memes are coming from. Okay? So we'll see. Like I said, maybe you guys will prove me wrong. And this will end up being like a super successful stream. But my perspective, I'm trying to be a realist here. I don't even know if this will do as well as a regular gameplay stream for me. Just being honest. Okay? All right. Malcolm. Tip me $1.50. It's good to see you expanding content. The world needs to hear Phil's new outlook on life. Long live DSP. Don't necessarily know if there's a new outlook on life happening here today. I'm not sure that's what the purpose is, but thank you for the tip. An anonymous $4 tipper says, first things first, I am glad to hear that Jordy and Wings made progress on weight loss. And secondly, happy Saturday. Sit back and have some chili down the rabbit hole. Thought I'd share a special Wings of Redemption haiku for this stream. Oh, was it a haiku? I wasn't even paying attention. Awesome. Thank you for the tip. So an anonymous tipper tipped me $2. Says, I've been watching your channel for a decade. I've never watched anything of Wings, but I hear his name a lot. So I'm going to find out what's the deal together with you here today. And I think for a lot of us, that's the deal. That's exactly what this is going to be. Okay. Jan tipped me $1.50. He says, I'm just going to stay for the podcast, but this is a little depressing. This stream is the most views that you've had in a long time, even more than Elden Ring. That's not true. The launch of Elden Ring was huge. When I did my earlier videos of Elden Ring, it was giant. Like, it was really popular. That first day, I think I topped... Didn't I top like 1,000 views for a bit? I'm pretty sure I did. So, Elden Ring was huge, okay? You can tell some are hoping for drama to pop. Nothing against you. I think it's a statement about YouTube today. And that is correct. That is absolutely positively correct. That people are just constantly looking for drama content. Admittedly, when you're going down history, like the history of someone and their ups and downs and a lot of their downs, there's probably going to be drama. And I think Wings knows that, but I think this video has been out long enough that it's not really going to be, he doesn't feel like it'll be harmful to him. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's the tip side of stuff, but now we got YouTube contributions again. Hold on. Swing back to YouTube here. We've got Inertia the Rock Band, who did a super chat and says, thank you for good wholesome content. Hashtag redeemed. I've been redeemed, apparently. Lord knows I've been crucified many years. Yellow Flash did Yellow Flash 2 did a super chat and says, have you ever experienced the privilege and joy of driving a salvaged V6 Mustang? You know, I must admit I've never driven a salvaged V6 Mustang. I've driven many salvaged vehicles in my lifetime, but never a Mustang. So I definitely missed the boat on that one. I've never driven a Mustang. My friend in high school had a Camaro, a Ford Camaro. No, not Ford Camaro. Is it Chevy Camaro? I can't even remember what the fucking Camaro is. I'm totally not a car guy, if you can't tell. And then I rented a Charger, a Dodge Charger once when I went to a gaming event, and I drove a Charger around town once, and that was a nice car, but many years ago. God Howard did a super chat and says, gaming. Well, thank you, God Howard. I appreciate that. Babu Chan did a super chat. Thank you, Babu Chan, for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Crib did a super chat and says, big ups DSP. Shout out to Cactus and the Boys. Again, another one. Woo! Right over my head. No idea what that meant. But I appreciate the super chat regardless. Okay? All right. So. There we go here. Okay. Yeah, it's about to be showtime. That's right, Jade. So, okay. I just want to make sure we got everything. We did? I think we got everything. JH asked, will I play Sonic Origins when it comes out? Yes, I'm very interested in it now. I actually saw some more information about it. I'm down for it. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty good thing for people who like the retro Sonic games like I do. All right. Saber of Red. No, excuse me. X-Saber of Red now did a super chat talking about big ups to my finger sniffers in the chat and Discord. I guess there's a hater Discord, huh? There's a Wings hater Discord. Huh. I don't know why I sound surprised. I'm sure there's one for me too, right? I don't know why I sound so shocked at that. Rio Mastermind has re-upped his membership for 12 months. He says this is a first. Hope it'll be good. I hope so too. Like I said, there's multiple levels of stuff going on here. Number one, it's a proof of concept for my business. Does it make sense for DSP Gaming? Is this going to be entertaining for the viewers? Is it going to be profitable for the business? That's number one. Number two, it's informative for those of us who don't know anything about Wings at all. And number three, it's going to be funny, I guess, for those who want to laugh. So there you go. Okay. Is that it? Are we good? Are we good with the PreStream podcast for today? I should break the video up into 6 20-minute chunks like it's a TV show. We're not doing it. I'm going to do it exactly like I do my normal streams, okay? So we're going to start. I'll probably go for about an hour, hour and a half, all right? At which time I'll stop recording. We'll take a break for about 15, 20 minutes. We'll come back, and I go till 4 p.m. Just so everyone knows, my streams typically go to around 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that's how long we'll go. And then at 4 p.m., we'll stop for today. If it needs another session in the future, we'll do another session in the future. All right? Okay. Malcolm did another tip. He says, do you prefer Sonic with blue arms or flesh? I mean, originally he was flesh, right? Like, the original Sonic is flesh. I don't think it matters, but, I mean, I grew up with the classic Sonic, so the classic Sonic for me, man. Okay. What's up, Guts? How you doing? He says, this is the only time I'm going to interact with you on the stream, but let's have fun together. Sounds good, Guts. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Wings is restreaming me right now. Well, I never gave him permission to do that. Let's go strike him down. I'm kidding. Now, how fucked up would that be? Damn. Now, that would be the ultimate fucked up move. You get permission to do a video about someone and their life, and then you strike down their restream of your content. Now, that would be the ultimate fucked up move. I would never. No. I don't do that. And I should say that. I never do that. People tell me all the time, oh, Phil, someone claimed this, someone struck that down. It's never me. It's literally never me. I've never done it. I don't do that. People can do whatever they want with my content. I'm not going to stop them because I don't have a lawyer to sue people. I'm not going to bother with that shit. So anyone who ever gets affected by that, I swear to God, God's honest Bible truth, it ain't me. I don't know who's going around all the systems impersonating me and shit and getting away with it. It's never me. Sometimes I get like a, whatchamacallit, a message from Twitter. It's so weird. It'll be like, oh, we received your claim. I'm like, I didn't claim anything, you fucking jackasses. And I've tried writing Twitter saying, hey guys, I'm not claiming anything. What are you talking about? And then they're like, oh, just disregard it. And I'm like, what? So literally someone is committing copyright fraud in my name, and I contact you about it, and you just want me to disregard it. That's how they responded. It's pretty fucked up. Anyway, Eternal Napalm tipped me $1.50. Says, mods ban anyone watching this on Twitch. There you go. There you go. Thank you for the tip, Eternal. Okay. And a super chat came in. I think this is from God Howard again. Yes, he says, get Wings on the stream to hear his side of things. Well, I think Wings already did that, didn't he? Years ago, didn't he talk about this video and respond to it and everything? Like, that would just be so outdated, I feel. This is more about me and I guess us together learning and reacting than actually rebutting anything. If you want to hear rebuttals or extrapolation or whatever, we gotta do my video, right? Okay. What's hilarious is that people are like, oh, you're bleeding views, start the video. Do you think I care? Do you think I care about that view number over there? I don't give a shit. Who cares? I've always said that, and as people don't understand. Content is not about... It's not a popularity contest, and it's not a race, and it's not about a number. It's about ongoing support and success, right? It doesn't matter if that number hits 10 million, right? If this stream doesn't get supported, then it doesn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Who cares? I don't give a shit. X-Kazder to the Super Chat says, Jordy's telling us to show you some love. Well, if that is the case, thank you, Jordy. Understand that I'm doing this out of curiosity. I'm not doing this from any position of hatred at all, because I don't hate you at all. How could I even hate you when I don't know you? Right? Like, seriously. How can you hate on someone you don't know? So, maybe by the end of this video, I'll hit your guts. Just kidding. Mandrew did a Super Chat says, Pepsi Pimp says send donations. Did he? Well, that's nice of him to say that. I would say this. I don't want anyone contributing to my content in any way unless they feel like it's unless they feel like it's mandatory. That's not what I meant to say. Unless they feel like it's earned or warranted is what I meant to say. If today you have a good time on my stream, all right, and you're enjoying yourselves, and you like this content and you want to either give back or you want to see it possibly continue in the future, support it. Like I said, this is a proof of concept. This is me trying something new, and if it works, maybe we can do more of it in the future. It very well may not work, in which case, I won't do any more of it, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine playing games all day, all right? But I wanted to do something different. I, Leviathan, tipped $1.50, says, time to watch Wing's video. Very excited to see you react. Roll out, my dude, roll out. Can you say it, please? Why do you like it when I say roll out? I don't understand that. I, Leviathan, is, like, obsessed with that. All right, God Howard did another super chat and says... Hold on. Tell Guts that Carito is a better black swordsman. I have no idea what that means, but thank you. And Jackie Charco did a super chat. Says, big ups DSP. Shout out to Gentleman Gamers and T-Mac. All right, I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of this means. But thank you guys for the support. I have no clue what's happening. All right, Jackie. Right? Thank you. Okay. All right, are we good? Have we covered all the bases? Are we ready? The HR just did a super chat and says, hello, Land Monster, and shout out to 007. Trolls on both streams. I can't wait to watch the documentary again, Real Talk. I really have no idea what this is all about. I wonder if we're going to know what all this is by the end of the video. Like I said in my video, all right, there were like no memes. My video was like factual stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to learn any of these memes. By the end of this video, I may be just as confused by these references. Okay. All right. I think it's time to end the pre-stream. All right. It's gone long enough. Had enough. I have to take a piss before we start. Probably makes sense to do that because I don't want to have to piss in the middle of the video when I start. You'll be pretty upset if I interrupt it, don't you think? So I'll piss quickly. And then we'll get started here. In fact, I have a dual setup. I'm going to show you. I have two different perspectives. You know what? Fuck it. I'll show you now. Since we're going to end the pre-stream anyway. People might be interested in this. So I have a dual setup. Here's how we're going to do this. Setup number one. That's my dashboard. Is where I can just sit here and watch it with you here. And we can watch it in the corner like that. If I want to elaborate on something... or pause and talk, I can use this. But then, we got my other setup, where yes, I'm actually going to be on widescreen cam today, where the video will be full screen, and I'll be in the corner talking about, or just watching with you, and reacting or whatever, and then if I want to, I'll pause it, and then we'll switch over to the other one. You see? So two different ways to do it. We're going to probably start from this screen, actually. Inertia the Rock Band did a super chat says, you're not bleeding views. You started at 477. Now you're at 934. I think what someone said is that at one point we did actually have over 1,000. But we don't now. I don't care. Conway Substation also did a super chat and said, shout out to Planet Wings. I think people are shouting out like every hater group of Wings at this point. I was just putting that up, and then the Exalted one did a super chat. I said, look here, look, listen, Jordy is the GOAT, hashtag big ups. All right. Stop, don't react now. It took so long. Wings has to go take a poop. Well, that's okay. I have to piss. All right, here's what we'll do. Let's end the pre-stream. Let's take a very brief break, couple minutes. I'll go use the restroom, wash my hands. Come back, and we'll get started. Sound good? All right. Let's do it.